And we are back with the second game of the second series of the day here with Matreshka versus cybercats. This is the third time in the Eastern European DPC Division 2 that we're having a 3 best of 3 day. And this is the second series of that day. So this is kind of gonna be the last time here for this year. The 2023 DPC here in Eastern Europe will end with tomorrow's day of games. Of course, we have had a couple of these 3 game days across Division 1 and Division 2, but it's kind of heartbreaking that in this year, when it comes to the DPC, or at least in this season, we won't be seeing any more of these 3 game days here in Eastern Europe, but that just means that we can enjoy them even more here. Matreshka and cybercats, the first game, Matreshka did win after what seemed to be a really hard start, but the last 20-25 minutes of the game was very, very easy for Matreshka. It was just a walk in the park, right? Cybercats, they did well in the laning phase, they transitioned well into the early mid game, they pushed the high ground 20 minutes in, they took one lane of racks. When they were about to take the second one, everything went bad for them, and after that they could never recover any longer. And that being said, we'll still see if they can maybe recover the series and make sure that they do not get eliminated, because if cybercats lose this one, it's gonna be bye-bye from Division 2. And cybercats, I don't know, I've been casting Eastern European DPC for a very long time now, and cybercats, they've always been here. I don't remember when's the last time they were not here. Like, even in their Shigetsu days, and they had some roster changes. Now with this new roster, it looked very promising at the start of the season, but they were never eliminated. And they might get eliminated now, today, by Matreshka. If they lose, it's over for them. It's over for Sibe as well, because Sibe today, they really showed up versus Moneymakers. And if cybercats would be able to win this one, then there would be a chance for Sibe, if they win versus Matreshka, to get themselves into a 3-way tie to stay in the division. So Matreshka, they're not only eliminating cybercats, keeping themselves in, but they're also eliminating Team Sibe if they win this series. A lot on the line for them as well. They're definitely not going to be pulling their punches here on Matreshka, even though that previous game they had 1 kill until minute 20, which is not something that you want to say for yourself. Remaining. If you are, if you're playing Dota. 5 seconds remaining. So, cybercats, they ban out the Batrider and the Timbersaw, and Matreshka, they'll be getting rid of the Broodmother and the Radiant team pick. The Medusa. As cybercats, they will be picking up a Spirit Breaker. So again, they go with the same opening on cybercats. Actually, sorry, it was Matreshka that opened up with the Spirit Breaker, my bad. So Medusa is banned out this time around. 10 seconds remaining. I guess you still pick a Shadow Demon versus the Spirit Breaker, unless you want the Enchantress. You want some Purge versus the Bulldoze. You could go for an Undying Morphling though. You could take that route. It's something that's pretty easy to execute. People have been playing it now for a very long time because it's super strong. And even though stronger teams are finding some counters to it, it usually takes the Division 2 teams a little bit longer to work through all the kinks. So Matreshka, they'll go for the Pugna Storm. Okay, that's fine. It's still a great combo. You could go for a Silencer, but then they'll go for an Ember. I don't know if I like this, because Ember loses the mid versus the Storm, and then the Storm is gonna have a Pugna to refill his mana all the time. I think cybercats are just going with something that they're confident with, and the Ember for Young G it's probably his best hero, has been for a very long time. But even if it's your best hero, Natty Narwhal is pretty good on the Storm. I think there's no way that even though Young G are playing like your best hero, that you know this matchup better than any Narwhal, than any mid laner, because this matchup is being played all the time in pubs and competitive games alike.
Radiant team ban.
So
Dire team ban.
they will ban out the Shadow Demon here on Cybercats, understandable. Just versus their Spirit Breaker versus their Ember, it is just way too good of a hero. We saw in the previous game how problematic it can be to play the Spirit Breaker versus the hero. You run in, suddenly your purrs, you're not moving remaining. And you're dead. And the only thing that your hero is really relying on is mobility.
5 seconds remaining.
So, Cybercats. What else do they ban? Do they get rid of the Enchantress? The Enchantress Pugna, though, doesn't seem like a good support duo. So I personally would not. I'd let them pick it if they want to, and then I'd punish them. Plus the Ember is good versus both the Pugna and the Enchantress in general.
Radiant
Should be okay. Cybercats ban out the Slark. Retsu really did perform well on the Slark in the previous game, though the first 20 minutes wasn't really part of the game all that much, but later on he understood the limits of the hero and how he should really approach fights. He didn't do anything spectacular, but his decisions of how to approach fights, how to maneuver around them, like move around the enemies, trying to find the right time to pounce, was beautiful. It's a good job on that.
10 seconds remaining.
And it does deserve a respect ban. Plus the Spirit Breaker and the Ember really suck versus the Slark. You don't do anything to the hero. What else? Do you ban out the Darkseer if you're Matreshka? They are focusing DK Focus, though he's mostly known for these zoo heroes, the Beastmaster, the Visage, the Lycan, the Enigma. I don't know if you're necessarily afraid of those. You could go for something like a Sven, but they did ban out the Visage and the Beastmaster, so it is showing that they are still somewhat respecting him in that regard, even though they just beat his Enigma. I can't say handily though. It almost made a big difference there with the Helm of the Overlord, and they were so close. I think if Cybercats back out there and just find another way to initiate into the top lane, they win the game. But you sometimes get ahead of yourself. And Matreshka, they're the ones that pick up Darkseer. They ban out the Oracle. The Enchantress is in the pool. The Enchantress Spirit Breaker, though I wouldn't mind. So you could go for that one to deal with the Darkseer. You still haven't shown your carry though, so you could just crush this hero in a lane. Something like a Bloodseeker comes to mind as a potential one, though not the best one versus the Storm Spirit in general.
5 seconds remaining.
Cybercats. What will you pick? They are taking their time. I still think Seeker is a good one. Jugger is a good one. Pugna can be annoying when you're playing a Juggernaut, but still it's nice. You have the Spirit Breaker, so there's not going to be that main hero that people pick versus the Juggernaut in general to cancel out his spin TPs. They want to think this through. So now you don't really want to pick a Morphling again, do you? It was shown that as time progresses, the Darkseer really does bother the Morphling in so many ways. Like, you can run him down, it's very hard to escape a surge target. Your illusions are a little bit too strong. They go for the Faceless Void. And the Enchantress. Okay, I like this response. Matreshka are very heavy on spell spamming. So these two heroes actually do make a lot of sense. But the Morphling makes even more, and you have nothing versus it. Morphling is one of the better heroes versus the Void. Even though people sometimes pick the Faceless Void into a
Radiant
Morphling, at least for the early game, it's quite nice for you. And you have the Pugna to save you from the bashes in the Chrono. So in my mind, the Morphling is just perfect here. The Ember doesn't bother you. The Spirit Breaker, you love playing versus him. Once you get an Aghanim Scepter, you can turn into the Faceless Void. Without the attack speed, the Faceless Void is no hero. This is just a perfect Morphling pick. I love it. I just love it through and through here for Matreshka. They will ban out the Enigma. Now you can just take away the other heroes that DK Focus is good on, and then I don't even know what he's gonna play. They do ban out the Primal Beast here, which would have been a great position for Cybercats. But there are heroes that you can go for, like an Earth Spirit would be one. I actually wouldn't mind it here for Matreshka. You could go Clockwork. I don't know if there's something else that I'd like to see. Spirit Breaker is obviously the best one, but you don't have that one in the pool. Anything else? Nyx is something that people are starting to pick up on a bit, but not really something that you would love. You could go for a Mirana, let's say. Yule's builder here is actually really good. Tusk is a hero that has been forgotten. As a Faceless Void, though, no, you're not afraid of it. I doubt they're going to be going for something like Shaker. I'm going through all of these melee position 4s to see if there's something worthy of picking. But yeah, Clockwork, Nyx, probably feel like the best ones. I doubt you get the Tusk. Would be cool to see. Either the Tusk or an Earth Spirit. Not really something that we see too often here in Eastern Europe. I don't think I've seen an Earth Spirit for a very long time in Eastern Europe, even though it's being played from time to time in other regions. They banned out AA. Okay, they were afraid of an offlane. That's actually very smart. I forgot about that. An offlane Enchantress would be an issue for you. No, not so much because of what the Enchantress will do. The laning will be strong. But because the Void AA is like, that's the ultimate Morphling counter. Now you do not have that as a team here on Cybercats. They can still go for an offlane Enchantress. It lanes well with the Spirit Breaker, but then again, the Enchantress lanes well with the Faceless Void. He's not the strongest of laners. So they'll just go for the Doom, which is a good hero versus the Darks here overall. Storm, Morphling. I guess Morphling buys the Lincolns relatively early, so he should be safe somewhat. I really like the Nyx here. I know the hero just hasn't been doing the greatest in competitive games, but in this game it just looks amazing versus the Doom, versus the Faceless Void, versus the Ember Spirit, Spirit Breaker. The Spike Carapace is just such a good spell. You do need some stuns on Matreshka's side. Laning phase wise, maybe the Enchantress can be slightly annoying to you, but you should be okay. Let's see how many times has Nyx been picked. Not a single time. One can dream. One can dream. What has Matreshka played? I want to see there. You don't have to go for a melee hero here. They'll go for the bounty. Okay. I forgot about him. It's a nice one. The Faceless Void doesn't necessarily like being pickpocketed. How would you feel if you were blind and someone pickpocketed you? Like, pickpockets are bad enough, but imagine the low life that would rob somebody who's blind. Anyways, though, I like it. I think Matreshka actually have really good heroes to hunt with. They don't have good heroes to hunt, though. Force Majeure and Ducalis, both of these supports are quite tanky, quite hard to kill. And Matreshka, they did have some issues getting early kills in the previous game. So that is something that you should put into perspective. Cybercats, I actually think that they don't have a better draft here, just like in game number 1. Like, I can see them winning the late game with the Doom Faces Void. Even the Ember and the Spiritbreaker contribute greatly in that regard. But I just see Matreshka as this lineup that can constantly pressure. And once they get the Aghanim Scepter and the Morphling, you're kind of screwed. They again have better vision with the Bounty Hunter. The Spiritbreaker and the Enchantress help you in that regard, but definitely Matreshka are going to be seeing more. If the Storm sees well, he can try to set up on a kill on anyone, and the thing is that you can constantly try in this one. I'm not the biggest fan of the Orchid Rush on the Storm, but I would be okay with it here. With that being said, we are going to be taking a short break to hear another words from our sponsors over at EGB.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system, welcome bonus up to $600, cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
And here we are in game number 2, and guess what? There is a pause. Cybercats are still favored here by EGB. So, I don't know. Matreshka, they do seem pretty strong to me.
But I'm not maceless.
So the Kalis is gonna be asking for a go. So Faceless says, I may be faceless, but I'm not maceless. Remember that pickpocket story from before? Yep, I guess that's something that you can have as a repellent.
But I'm not maceless.
That's true. Like, who needs a face when you have a mace? Because, you know, at least you're gonna be getting some friends, right? You're also gonna be faceless by smashing them with that mace. I guess that's the approach that the Faces Void is taking. Ember Spirit, his smoke will get broken. So won't be able to place a ward there. They see his ward currently because the 2 ones have been placed around the mid lane. The idea here is to protect the Storm from the charge, but if Force Majeure is going to be charging, he's going to be doing it from your side of the map actually. So I'm surprised about this vision. I expected them to have one in their own jungle, Matreshka, just to find those rotations from the Spiritbreaker towards the mid. Retsu on the high ground. If he gets to the low ground, he needs to be very careful with 250 HP. You don't really morph that fast with a level 1 attribute shift. It's better than it used to be, but it's still kind of bad. Retsu? Okay, I don't see him getting out of this one alive. Like, that's some greed coming out from him. There's gonna be another blood grenade. Actually, he's still alive. Like, how is he still alive? Yeah, because the attribute shift helps. No more agility to morph into strength, but he doesn't need it. Because he'll be getting himself into a tier 2. I still don't know if he's gonna be living through this, but he is doing his best. We'll be TPing back to the lane. As the tank goes for a Morphling, that's pretty much the entirety of his HP. We'll see if he actually lives. So it will be a Bounty Hunter laning with a Darkseer and the Pugna with the Morphling. No surprises there. And it's gonna be a mid lane Storm versus the Ember. The 2 Spirit Brothers are gonna be engaging in an epic battle here, but we all know that the Storm should be coming out ahead overall. They're in the lane. Bottom lane, the Morphling should in general do okay in this Doom lane. The thing is that he started off with such low HP, so that will definitely hurt him in terms of how much he can morph into agility and have the damage necessary to last it properly. So we'll see if it really does hurt him. For now, it is hurting him slightly because he can't really get too many CS in. So let's talk about Cybercats a bit and how they win this game. So their late game is ultra powerful. Their lanes are decent. They have good supports in lane. That could be huge. Yeah, nothing special about their lineup. They just need constant fast movements around the map. If they can force Matreshka like to be TPing and taking fights on places where you wouldn't want to, generally, that's I think that's what they're gonna be gunning for, right? You don't want to get ran down, found by the bounty hunter. You want to be constantly moving and threatening Matreshka yourself. So I like their lineup actually in that regard. Though the thing is that you constantly have to be on the move. You constantly need to have info of your enemies, because the second that the map goes dark and you're like, where are they? Where are they? That's pretty bad for you. You don't farm that fast. Other than the Doom, everybody else is just a mediocre farmer on their side. And if the lanes get pushed towards you and you're kind of separating to shove out the waves, it's very easy for the Storm to catch you, especially with all the vision coming out from the bounty. The Surge also is going to be a nice thing to run you down. It's tough for cybercats, but if they get into the groove here in the second game, they can definitely get themselves to a victory. It's a completely different lineup than what they played earlier, and overall cybercats, they haven't been doing well. That's the thing. This kind of a lineup, it's not easy to execute. That's why I'm having doubts about it. If they do everything perfect, they might just actually have a chance to win this one. But even for the best of teams in the world, making this lineup be perfect, it's not going to be easy. Young G is going to be smacked down by the Storm a little bit, but he still had one more bottle charge, so that was fine. Still, he's doing well in the mid lane with an Ember, farming well, taking some damage, taking some hits, but the Storm is suffering some a little bit in terms of survivability, whereas him as well. Morphling able to catch up. Every single core is farming. There's really nobody that's being shut down. Retsu is kind of low, but he will be given regen overlord by Dark as force majeure. Still, the Dota player, like even the ones that are close to the best in the world, right, still haven't gotten used to the slow couriers, level 1, level 2, level 3. These couriers die just so much that it's insane. It's not like the bounty hunter murdered the cybercats courier. No, you just lost it there from a Pugna in a lane that just right-clicked it without any pushback. Natty Narwhal eating a Sleight of Fist. You saw it did absolutely no damage there under the tower. The Storm has 8 armor, so the Sleight of Fist isn't really a big threat to the Storm just yet. As we move on to the net worth, and there, the Ember is ahead of the Storm. Pretty big. Morphling charged into. He was going to be smacked down a little bit, but overall, again, not going to be going down as mid lane. Laguna has come over to finish off Young G, and he was just waiting for another Janada to take away the life and the gold from the Ember. Narwhal will need to go to the base, but he won't be losing all that much in terms of experience, in terms of gold either. The Ember and the Storm are still going to be hitting the level 6s at the same time. Laguna.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He places a ward and just runs away. As Morphling, he will be dove here, but Dark, he's not taking damage. Actually, the Storm now coming over. You forgot that this guy went to the base, but he forgot that he's not level 6 just yet. So Cybercats, they're just gonna move themselves away. They see him clearly on the vision, and now the Storm has made a big mistake. That little advantage that the bounty hunter has given him in the mid lane is now gonna cost him. He doesn't even pick up the bounty rune on his way there. So if he was level 6, he probably gets a double kill. But there's this teeny tiny little issue. He was not level 6. And now that Narwhal is charged, it would be a catastrophe if he would die now before level 6. Very unlikely to happen, as they see the bounty hunter pulling back with a hurricane. And Narwhal, he is tanky enough to be standing his ground. Actually, they're thinking about diving him, and they're gonna be doing just that. Natty Narwhal dropping low. He gets his level 6, but he gets chained and gets brought down. Oh, that TP to the bottom lane. It cost him his life. It costs him time. It costs him the tower.
Radiant's
It's just a
middle tower
complete
has fallen.
disaster. Nana Narwhal. Now he's 1,000 gold behind the Ember Spirit. Oh, it doesn't get much worse than that. If Dark steals this rune, then might be fine. But if you look at it, the Spirit Breaker is going to steal the rune as well. Versus the Bounty Hunter, kind of impossible. You're just gonna get stunned up. Oh, gets the dust off and steals the rune. Mwah! Beautifully done by cybercats. They open up this game with some nice plays. Laguna dusted up, meaning that he's moving very slowly. Come on, catch me, Slowpoke. Force Majeure is gonna be running away from the Bounty Hunter with ease. Bounty Hunter, not the greatest one at tag. The thing is that those kids, they're slow when they're young. They just end up being very fast runners later on because they want to show everybody else that they can't do it. So once the track comes out, this slow kid is not gonna be so slow any longer. Storm needs to come back into this game somehow. Your whole team is relying on you. DK Fogus, well, he's kind of dead. He does have the healing Lotus. Is it enough to survive? Not really. Melis gets the kill because the Bounty Hunter had the shell on him. So that was the extra damage that they needed. And Melis, not even being part of the action, will be getting the kill. Last time around 20 minutes in, you didn't have any... you didn't have more than one kill. Now Matreshka already ahead there. But cybercats, much better... a much better game for them, I think. It's gonna be easier to play because the Faceless Void is having a great time. He has the Midas already. The Power Treads will follow. And Melis. He's gonna get purged there. They will have another one, so even if you go for the surge immediately, it will be taken down. That purge creep is a big problem for them. The chrono comes out and the time dilation as well. There's gonna be another purge, so even with the crap, you won't be able to save, but they don't have it. They kill the purge creep. Now the vacuum is gonna be huge. Dark World dropping low. It's gonna be the blood grenade onto all of them, and going forward, Laguna slows down Force Majeure with the shuriken. They probably won't be able to get this kill because they have nothing to break the charge with. He'll just be going through all of them. If really go that defensively. Why is that? Because the Ember is in the vicinity. Pugna is lagging. Well, he would probably want to be out of this game because the only thing that the Pugna can do is, without eyes, watch as his Darkseer is being taken down. He's just dead. And I don't know if the rest of them will be getting out. The thing with the Ember in this game, he doesn't have a maxed out Slide of the Fist. Not gonna be doing that much in terms of damage, but the Storm comes over as well. He sees Force Majeure, and he will be able to zap him down. One more hit, we'll be finishing him off. It is still gonna be Young G that gets a double. So again, out of the two mid laners, the Ember Spirit gets out on top. Another pause. Immediate unpause, Doom lag. Okay, they were just spamming those pauses the second the Doom started screaming lag, lag, and the lags will continue. Natty Narwhal has some mana to work with, though Young G, he got that double kill. Now the solo kill onto the bounty gave him so much in terms of experience. So he didn't have a maxed out Sleight of Fist, still doesn't, but level 3 in it is still good enough to at least threaten the life of the Pugna. We're standing his ground. Young G going on to Dark. This is looking like a very dead Pugna. Yeah, a triple kill for Young G. Doesn't get much better than that. We talked about his Ember, and in the previous game he was doing well, but in this game he is doing awesome. Like Ember versus Storm. Storm should win. Well, look again, because net worth there, it is showing a completely different picture. Good positioning from Retsu there. A Doom from the trees is something that can easily kill you. Young G is trying to force Natty Narwhal into a mistake, but he might be walking into a mistake himself. Rune gonna be secured there by the Enchantress. It's an Invis, and he will have the Warpine Raider to just go forward. Show them who's boss. Retsu are going for the Doom. DK Focus taking a lot of damage. The Morph will get doomed, but he did get the attribute shift off, so Morphling will be fine. DK Focus, maybe not so much. Laguna gets dusted. He needs to run away from that area with the Ember being in the vicinity. This poor Bounty Hunter is dead. Only now he will leave the dust area, but for another 8 seconds he'll be an easy target to get ran down. And DK Focus gets another kill for his team. Will be an attempt here onto Dark Lord. He does have the jump out. Faces
Radiant's
Void.
bottom tower is under attack. Radiant
It's still gonna be
structures are
fine.
fortified.
You're not killing him. Every single time you use the spell, he's just gonna time walk away. And Young G, well, he's everywhere. For some reason, I think Matreshka are feeling like wherever they look, wherever they go, whatever they think, that the Ember is one step ahead of them. And it does feel that way. As Dark Lord, he will be working towards the Maelstrom. So already has a Midas. The power treads are there. He wants to continue with his fast farming. It is almost 12 minutes in and the bounty hunter still doesn't have his level 6. Pugna is approaching it, but he is also approaching death as well as the Ember is chasing him down. So it's gonna be an easy grab. Yeah, Young G, another Sleight of Fist finishes off the job. The Orb of Corrosion is just too powerful and the Javelin came in. I think that was a Javelin hit as well because it hurt a little bit too much there on the Pugna. Okay, Matreshka, I don't think that they're coming back into this game just like the other one. You don't have the type of hero like the Queen of Pain. That's gonna be the Bulldoze on the Spirit Breaker, just charges through both of them. The Storm Spirit wants this kill, and they're gonna try to get it, in the end be successful at it as well. Laguna, nice interruption there on the Nether Strike. I'm not sure if the Nether Strike would have helped, but it's still quite nice. The Spirit Breaker here, he's being a little bit greedy in the game because he doesn't want to charge away. All the time he's just charging onto his enemies thinking that there's going to be some kind of turnaround, and Young G has been there most of the time. Speaking of Young G, is nice dodge onto the vacuum. Does have the Remnant back, so I don't think he feels any pressure from these two heroes. If there was a storm there, he probably would have Remnanted back earlier, but he is continuing to top the network charts. The difference between his and the Storm's farm are just huge. The Storm now can't go for the Orchid. You have to get a Kaya. You're just not going to be able to kill anybody, and then you're just going to have another useless item. Well, it's even the price of Orchid. It's 3.5k. Yeah, the 3.5k wasted when you're already 2k behind the Ember. It would be a complete disaster. The gold lead is there for cybercats. Ideally, Matreshka want to start getting those track kills. Morphin got doomed. Morphin got killed. DK focus. He also ate the Satyr Banisher, so he does have the purge now. The ability to just kill that small creep when the Enchantress gets it. Not there any longer. Dark charged up. The Enchantress coming forward, but it is going to be Force Majority who's going to try to kill him. Dark, he does have the Life Drain. Without the Bashes, you're not going to be able to kill him, and the Bashes just aren't coming. They have to run away from him, and Force Majority will be dying. That's going to be the first track of the game, as Natty Narwhal does run down to college. The two supports die as Dark lives. The level 6 of the Pugna. That is what everybody was waiting for, to heal up the Storm, but he heals up himself, taking the life of the enemy supports. Very nice of them. And you can see just how much one play can change everything, because Matreshka couldn't get a single rune into the bottle of the Storm ever since the start of the game. Now, he has a double damage, which should be one of the best ones for the Storm to go for kills, which is what Natty Narwhal wants to do in this game. He will have a Kaya fairly soon, and he will have that DD. We'll see if he uses it for farm or just wants to go and fight. So, the win probability, currently it's 50-50, like dead even if we ask our Lord and Savior Gabe and the cybercats. They want to make it a little bit in their favor. Young G, he was always in fights and it was going well for him at the start. He wants that to continue. Melis running away from the Enchantress is going to be quite tough. You just need to wait with that enchant a little bit. He does have the Satyr there. But no Hadoukens will be coming through on the Darkseer. That Shockwave isn't something he wants to feel, and Darkseer actually does have the Guardian Greaves already. That's quite nice. I guess the idea here is to remove the time dilation or the chains. Both of the spells are very, very annoying to the Darkseer. Morphling, Lincoln's done, Faces Void, Maelstrom done. So big items are coming through for both carries. Faces Void, of course, he's ahead. He does have a Midas, he does have a Maelstrom. The farming items on him are there for a Morphling. Well, no such thing.
Radiant's top tower
And he's
is under
approaching level
attack.
12 on the Faces Void. The Morphling will be there roughly at the same time. Dark Lord is all alone. They're going to be jumping in. There's the stun to follow up as well. And the burst damage is more than enough. Storm with double damage doing a lot. But the Morphling, well, when he has one target, this hero just packs a punch. Very nice usage of the stuns there. They went in with the Vortex first, follow-up stun of the Bounty Hunter, and well, the damage was enough. It's another track kill. Finally putting Matreshka ahead in terms of net worth and getting the Morphling ahead of the Ember. So this Ember that had such a great start, Young G, started hyping him up and is not doing that great any longer. Young G will get the slide of his chains. Bounty Hunter caught. He does have the drums. He starts banging on them. But to no avail. His life is still going to be taken. He will leave the track onto Young G, but it's a small consolation there. Alice has 2 healing lotuses. They found the Morphling. He has the Lincolns. Will waveform there a little bit back. Beautiful vacuum onto the 3 of them. The Storm is going in, trying to go for the Doom. Won't be able to do that much damage. The pipe will be keeping everybody alive. Cybercats, they understand it's all about staying together, having that pipe. They are a very tough bunch to kill. If any one of their heroes is isolated, it is an easy target for Matreshka. If they are together, then it's a whole different story. So now Matreshka, they're going to be needing some damage dealing items. For a Morphling, it's still going to be like a like an Aghanims he wants to go for.
I'm over here.
Was
Radiant
Night in
are
Narwhal.
scanning. Dire are scanning.
Couldn't go in. Let's see now. Matreshka. They found Young G. No, they're just gonna spook him. Imagine how spooked he felt. Force Majeure as well. He is tracked here. Laguna is running at him with a Iron Shell. They still won't be able to get on top of him. Even if that stun from the Shadow Walk did come through, it wouldn't be enough in terms of damage to finish off the Spirit Breaker. I really like the pipe decision from the Doom. You're playing versus 2 Midases, Matreshka. You need those track kills. You definitely need those track kills to win. Again, jump onto the Emperor. He does have the illusion, and his illusion is gonna be getting vortexed by the Storm. Not much. Again, Laguna dusted. Again, Laguna dead. Cybercats, they don't play around. When they find a target, they kill it in a second. We have only seen 1 Chrono so far. That kind of scares me. I always want to see the Faces Void getting kills with the Chrono, and I think the support kills are good enough. The part of the game where you don't want to use the Chrono
is under attack.
is basically the time where your enemies can take Roche. Currently for Matreshka, that's not the case, right? So you can just be using it. When you carry 99 was charged. Spirit Breaker is still going to be coming through. They found the Pugna. That's a good hero to start the fight off. But the Faces Void is taking a lot of damage. Dark Lord, he's dead. Okay, it will cause them the Storm. And the Retsu Morphling might go down. It's a triple kill for Young G. So they might have turned around on that Faces Void. But all in all, it's a great fight for Cybercats. The Lincoln Sphere of the Morphling is just not keeping him alive. He has only 2 points in the attribute shift, and it's not enough, it seems. You did kill the most important late game hero there for Cybercats, but you lost 2 of your heroes that are the ones that need to be carrying you into the future. Bounty Hunter is going for Yules. I really like that. The hero does benefit a lot from the movement speed, but most of all, it's removing the chains from yourself, removing the time dilation from yourself, and removing the bulldoze from the Spirit Breaker. Those are pretty important. Let's see, Retsu pushing out the bottom lane. Mid lane, Melis. trying to deal with the creeps as much as he can. Cybercats holding a firm 3k gold lead. In terms of towers, not a lot of them have fallen. 2 for Cybercats, 2 for Matreshka. Matreshka have lost the mid lane tower. Cybercats haven't lost that one just yet. Let's see if it doesn't happen. A smoke is coming through. They want to steal the wisdom rune, but the enchantress in a good place to just take it away immediately and even just jump away from danger. They know where the Colossus is, but he feels like something is wrong. He knows exactly where the enemies are, and well, Cybercats, they won't be losing a single hero, they won't be losing a wisdom rune, and the smoke from Matreshka is gonna give them nothing but a doom courier. I guess that's something, but it is not nearly enough with what you were hoping for.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Cybercats, they will be smoking up themselves. Where did they go?
Dire are scanning.
They're going into the enemy jungle. Maddie Narwhal is there, and he will get jumped on, and he's looking very much dead to me. Like, he's dead on my screen. He's dead on everybody's screens. Even with the Sanjin Kaya, you need much more status resistance than that, much more HP to actually be able to survive that kind of an aggression on your life. The things are going really well for Cybercats currently. Those Midases are kicking in more and more, and as the game progresses, it's gonna be even tougher for Matreshka to keep themselves in this one. They're needing more and more track kills, but it's getting harder and harder to kill Cybercats. And this is the type of aggression. If you guys are looking at the lanes, like, Cybercats aren't really going for kills, but they're always keeping the lanes close to the river or slightly over it, right? And that's what you want to do. You can maybe leave one lane, the top lane, but mid lane and the bottom lane you need to keep out. If you do that, then you're gonna have the opportunities to go for charges, and you will be the ones controlling the map, rather than you just trying to shove out the lanes and then being caught by a storm. And if this continues for a little while longer, it is gonna be a big problem. Of course, Morphling, once he gets an Aghanim Scepter, that's when things do change. The things though change quite heavily with Cybercats having 2 BKBs, and they do. It's on the Void and the Ember, whilst the Doom is going for an Octarine core. Darkseer, he wants a Linken's, he wants a Hex.
Dire's top tower.
We'll see if he stays with that one. And Cybercats, they're not done. They want to continue fighting. The Faceless Void is farming. He wasn't showing on the map, so this little maneuver of theirs, it is gonna be quite easy to read, especially with Laguna just finding DK Focus, putting the track on him. The dust does not connect, so the bounty will be fine. Yang Ji finds the storm, side of his chains onto the two of them. Here comes the charge. You need to zip away, but they are going for the Darkseer. They knew that he's more important. Look at the Pugna in a good position with Life Drain, keeping Melis alive. They now see the Pugna. DK Focus tries to get away, and the Morphling turns into the Spirit Breaker himself. Now he has the status resistance, but they needed to finish off DK Focus. Still hasn't used the Doom. They will finish off the Spirit Breaker though, as Dark still lives. Morphling into the Spirit Breaker again. Will have the charge in a couple of seconds if he wants to go for it, but the rest of Cybercats won't be giving a fight to their enemies. So even with a double BKB reveal, the Ember did use his, but the Faceless Void didn't. You still cannot win a fight. I still would be okay if they would just chrono somebody instantly. The thing is, what they're afraid of currently is the Pugna, the Crepify. But does the Doom have the Purge? Yeah. The thing with the Purge from the Satyr Banisher is that it's very low range. So until the Faceless Void has like a Nullifier, I'm guessing that's gonna be his next item after the Mjolnir.
Bountiful.
Dark Lord continuing to farm. Be jumping away for now. The Cybercats, they're not that far ahead any longer. You have a Doom that is with the Midas, so effectively double Midas on the Doom. Have a Midas on the Faceless Void. I mean, their heroes don't farm super fast, but then again, neither do Matreshka heroes. Matreshka heroes aren't going to be relying on this track. Currently, it's level 1, but now they're going to be going for the Roche. We talked about it. You don't really want to be using the Chrono all that much until you Or you want to be using it until your enemies are capable of getting Roche. Now they're capable of getting Roche with the Morphling actually packing a punch. And the Trosh is falling rapidly. They need to be there fast. Morph also has the Aghanim Scepter, has the Yasha. His farm is there. It's very, very strong. Be there faster, Cybercats. Faster than this. The call is coming over, but Retsu will be securing the Aegis. They don't give it to the Storm. Not in Narwhal. He knows that Retsu is the real carry here, and we need to be putting all of their efforts into him. Luna gets dusted. Morphling there to the side. Won't be finding anyone in the woods. They need more tracks. They need more vision. They need more info. Matreshka, if they want to go onto Cybercats that high, which means that one fight turns the whole game on its head. They're in favor of one team or another. Every single spell is ready. We've seen only one Doom so far in the game. And Chronos, well, only one as well. So not really, pretty conservative there on their spells. Let's see if that changes in the future. But as the game goes forward, you need to be more conservative on those spells, not less. Oh, you will have better opportunities to use them. You'll Scepter and the Bounty. We talked about the all of the good effects of this item in this game. So, Laguna
Dire's top tower
has it now. He will be running behind the enemy tower there, placing some cool vision. That ward could change a lot if you're not careful on Cybercats. The Kalis doesn't seem too careful. He will be dusting Laguna using the Hurricane Pike. Heals on the Bounty, will remove both the dust, has the Greater Healing Lotus if he needs it. Steals the Ember Spirit, but he had the Illusion Rune. Deceptive Rune of Illusion, right? So, and then it just saves your life. The Morphling would have been destroying him quite a lot, but he did have a BKB, so he's really never gonna die. Retsu now going for the enchantment, trying to finish him off. Jump in from the Faceless Void. He's only gonna be catching the Storm, but they had the crap. No, it was a little bit too far away. The call is still gonna be dying there. It will be the vacuum that finishes him off. The BKB from Dark Lord, he's trying to kill the Morphling, not gonna be happening, and that guy still has the Aegis, so even if you kill him once, it's really not gonna change anything. Retsu still turned into the Ember if he wants to use that Sleight of Fist chains, but he won't be able to get on top of the target. He will be getting on top of DK Focus. Nice charge from Force Major onto the Bounty Hunter, but through the Morphling and the Storm, keeps them at bay, as in the end, it's only a one hero that dies. The crap coming out on the Pugna onto the Storm really changed that fight without you being able to do anything inside of the Chrono. Dark Lord would just go back to farming, and he really, really needs that Nullifier. I would be very surprised if there's any other item he's even considering at this point. Poor young G. He wanted that Arcane Rune.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower.
The only thing
is
he
under
got was a
attack.
track and a Yules. And even though fire rises in the wind, he's not really gonna be appreciating that rise of his.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
The gold lead is still in favor of Cybercats, which is nice. But we're seeing some problems there in their fight. Of course, the win probability in their favor, of course, with the gold lead. That's always going to be the case. Always, but most of the times.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
So, Faceless Void, he did put the Nullifier in quick buy. You want that as fast as possible. There's really no counterplay once that comes out. I'm looking at what they can do inside of the Chrono when he pops the BKB Nullifier on somebody. Yeah, you have no saves. The life drain is nice. It is gonna help, but it's not easy for a Pugna to just stay outside of the Chrono and use the life drain. There's also other heroes from Cybercats that are gonna be running around that Chrono trying to make things happen. The big thing is though, Retsu still hasn't turned into the Faceless Void a single time. Once he does, taking away 70 attack speed and 20% of agility is a lot. 20%, so he's gonna be taking away 20 agility, and so around 90 attack speed just taken away from the Faceless Void. That's a lot. He'll not be attacking that fast. He will though once he gets the Chrono talent, the attack speed talent in Chrono. He'll be changing a lot. Darkseer has a Linkens. He's going for a Hex and the Blink. You do need ways to initiate properly on Matreshka. Storm is going for Lincoln. So considering the Morphling and the Storm need to be keeping themselves alive, it's up to the Darks here to do the initiating. So if you get the Blink and the Hex, that's actually really good initiation. Whoever you go for could very easily die, especially now the Morphling is getting super strong. He is going to be going for a Silver Edge, and I like that. Crit is very important for a Morphling this game in particular. In the last game, cybercats couldn't get it on their Morphling, and it really hurt them. It really hurt them. Because they were missing on that burst potential of the hero. Once you get the Silver Edge, you get the level 20 on the Morphling, you actually can just bring people down without them getting a single spell off. Which is always the best way to start off a fight. It doesn't get much better than that, does it, guys? Kuna is going to be working towards the Solar Crest. Cybercats will be probably 4k gold ahead still. This gold lead hasn't been changing for a very long time. So the Nullifier and the Faceless Void, which is done, it changes a lot. They also have a gem, so Cybercats are preparing for their strongest parts of the game, and they're there. I think they have everything that they need, actually. The Doom has a Blink BKB, the Faceless Void has that Nullifier, the Ember, he has the Sanjin Kaya Maelstrom, so his damage output is quite great. You're there. There's not much more that you need, and that's why they're going to be going for a smoke, searching for a fight. This next fight will be crucial. Let's see if the Nullifier can make a difference. You don't have to connect on that Chrono. Nice waveform to the high ground there, just in the nick of time, Retsu. Now they found the Storm. He's in so much trouble. He has been nullified. He'll be taking out the vacuum. Is going to be huge. And the Storm almost survives there. But even with such a huge vacuum wall, it really doesn't change anything. They're just going to be chasing for more. Dark is caught. Dark uses the crap on himself, has the Glimmer Cape. Not enough to live. Young G still staying with that gem. Young G still hasn't... Oh, okay, he has died once in this game at the start of it, if you remember that rotation of the Bounty Hunter into the mid lane. But that's about it. And with the Chrono not being used, Cybercats, they're on a good path to play another fight. Just before the Roche will be spawning. In 50 seconds, we're gonna know exactly when. Storm used one static remnant, and he dealt 0 damage to the enemy because there's a pipe, so good luck with that. Really no chances for Matreshka in that fight, and this is a big one for Cybercats. That Nullifier, it really changes the game. I'm surprised that Matreshka didn't really try to force the issue as much as possible before this came out, because now... How do you shield somebody from a Chrono? Aeon Discs, Nullifiers, Aeon Discs, the Creps, Yo Scepters, E-Blades, none of it works. Yule Scepters, nope. I'll be going for the Tormentor. Dark gets the Shard, no illusion hero, so you don't really care about it. It's more so about not allowing Cybercats to steal it, and Matreshka will go for a smoke immediately. They will have the wall probably before the fight starts, but the idea right now is to establish yourself on the map before the Roche does come. Mid lane will get pushed out by Retsu. Does have the Crystallis, so at least some burst potential is there on him. And Eddie Narwhal does get the Haste Rune bottled up. See. Cybercats.
Dire's middle tower
They
is
are
under attack.
keeping themselves around this twin gate, but the Roche is going to be spawning on the Dire side, so Matreshka are going to be the ones happier with that for sure. I'm thinking this Storm, after Lincoln's, he needs an Axe. They need that big wombo combo of the vacuum into pulling people into their deaths. You need to be very, very careful how you fight if you're Matreshka, and you also need to be thinking about who the priority targets are in a fight. Because if you don't, the vacuum, let's say you get the Axe on the Storm, the vacuum wall comes out, and you do not kill the let's say the Faceless Void. He uses the Chrono whilst you were trying to just jump in and kill everybody. It's a problem. You need to know exactly who needs to die and when. Void use the chrono, guys. Our next target is gonna be Doom. They use their spells. Ember needs to die. Right? That is the approach here. As cybercats, they will smoke up. They have all of their ultis, they have all of their BKBs, they have the will to fight. Laguna breaks the smoke, Sleight of Fist chains connect. He is looking very much dead. I don't see him getting out of this one alive. Actually, the storm jumps in, stops the nether strike, not gonna be coming through. And the Spirit Breaker, he gets destroyed. He doesn't have a buyback, so he's not gonna be a part of this fight. The Bounty Hunter getting away. There will be a track onto the Ember, still has the BKB to work with, and DK Focus will get Hurricane spiked forward. Just enough to protect him. The Electric Vortex from the storm, they're still trying to force this one out. The Faceless Void hiding in the trees, they understand just how dangerous it is to go forward. Storm used all of his mana, but he does have the Pugna to refill it if he wants to, and he will. Some of the tracks are still there, and you do have good vision. Yang Ji will TP back to the base. No one will stop it for now. The Roche is up. Cybercats, they will be able to wait it out right now as their Spirit Breaker is coming back to life. You can't really go for Roche like that. This is very, very dangerous. Cybercats are, of course, going to be in the vicinity. G, see what he can do. He's the one that needs to reveal it. The Roche losing HP rapidly versus a Morphling. You need to be careful. But not even half of his HP has been taken away. The Faceless Void yielded up into the air. His initiation has been stopped. Laguna gonna be nullified. Okay, now you can go forward. You can get saved from the Chrono anytime you like, but the Nullifier, very low cooldown. So you had that one opening there, but it's not gonna be huge. It's just a 10-second cooldown item, so you literally always have it unless you go for it immediately there. Compared to Magnar, we'll see that there's nobody in the Roche pit. They did find the Darkseer and he's dead. He's just gonna be going down, doesn't have a buyback. The life drain, trying to keep him alive there for a little bit longer, but the gems and the dusts, the Glimmer Cape won't really be helping in any way. The Faceless Void did use the Chrono, trying to go for the Morphling, not doing that much damage at the start, but in the end they finish him off and the Storm just jumps in to get taken down as well. Last time when Dark Lord used the Chrono, they were able to kill him there right at the edge of it. This time around, not gonna be happening. Cybercats with the win of this fight and the Roche being taken put themselves in a really good position to take game number 2 away from Matreshka and keep their Division 2 dream alive. It'll be really bad for them as an organization to drop out, because then they would have to go through the open qualifiers before the next DPC tour, and it just doesn't feel that well. If you have already your organization there, you can change some players, it doesn't really matter, but these guys are gonna be doing their best to just stay in the DPC. With this fight won, this gold lead, that shouldn't be too hard, at least for now. In game number 3, of course, anything can happen. And even if Cybercats win this, like, best case scenario, they play Matreshka and Sibe in a 3-way tie. Okay, maybe tomorrow they can win versus Moneymaker, so scratch that, you know, it's they still have one more series to play, as do Matreshka. Cybercats, their destiny is in their own hands. It is true for Matreshka. They're like, we can end this right now. We can stay in the division. They were the ones that came through the open qualifiers, Matreshka, so it would be a really big success for them to retain their slot, even before they play the last game of the division for them, of course. Gold lead, it does seem insurmountable, especially when the other team does have a bounty hunter on its side. Usually you see the bounty as somebody who's going to be giving you a lot of gold. Ember found. Ember just runs away. You don't have enough lockdown. You are going to be needing that hex on the Darkseer, but it's going to be a lot of time before he can actually get it. That's the right initiation that they were missing, that 2.8 second stun. Feels weird to say it. Hex is now 2.8 seconds, not 3.5 any longer. Speaking of hexes, there is one guy that was able to farm it, and that's the Spirit Breaker. So he has the Shadow Blade, the drums, and the hex. That is a very farm sport. Usually it's the team that has a bounty hunter whose supports are farmed, but not in this one. When you get only 12 kills, I guess the bounty doesn't really suit their playstyle. They don't get that many kills as a team. No Chrono from the Void. They tried to catch him with Nullifier, went for the Moon Shard, meaning that even if the Morphling turns into the Faceless Void, it's really not going to be taking away all that much of his damage. The Morphling has a shard, so now he can start morphing inside of the Chrono if need be. Doesn't need to be all that careful. Only the Doom prevents him from using the Morph now. And the Hex. The Hex does as well. Hexes and Silences a little bit different there. So, Dark Lord. Next item gonna be a Scotty. You're playing versus a Morphling versus a Pugna. Makes a lot of sense just to reduce the healing. He's gonna be approaching level 25 soon, so once the backtrack is there, you're gonna have a really tough time bursting this guy down, even once you get the Hex. Hex used to disable the passive abilities, or break, what it's called now. But I think ever since the break as a mechanic was added, that it's called that way, that the Hex hasn't been doing it. Not sure. Don't really remember exactly the timeline of Dota. And that's what it feels like, actually. It's been a long time since Hex wasn't able to break people. But we haven't seen a fight for quite some time. This game is lasting for a good 42 minutes already. And the end, it's nowhere really in sight just yet. Retsu gets himself out just in the nick of time as the Doom was hunting. Doom has ninja gear, Faceless Void has ninja gear, Spearbreaker has ninja gear, and Ember Spirit, he went for the Timeless Relic, whilst the Enchantress has the Mindbreaker. These ninja gears are just too good. I'm thinking that's the next item that gets removed out of Dota. This is how you hex, my friend. With Doom having an Aghanim Scepter, your Linken's isn't any good. Charge into hex, breaks the Linken's, keeps him in place. Doom comes in and just gets the kill. He's trying to do as much as he can with the Doom with the time that he has remaining. And actually, the Morphling might be on the menu, but now the Morphling turns around, will get stunned up. The Life Drain will be there, keeping him alive. Turns into the Ember. Let's see just how well he can play with it. Melis did buyback. He wants to go into the fight, running in with the Surge. Super fast, get them onto the high ground, but to only be the Ember up there, and he has a way to get down with ease. That's exactly what he's gonna do. Just gets himself to the side, and cybercats will force out an enemy offlaner buyback and just run out without losing anything. Didn't even pop a BKB charge, not even that. So it's looking very easy for them at the moment. This is gonna delay the hex of the Darkseer even further. So I'm guessing the Storm that is now going for it is their last chance. Force Majeure also steals the Wisdom Rune. You know, in gold, it's a 16k goldie, but in terms of experience, it's 19 levels, 30% experience difference between the two teams. It had to be more, because of course the gold of Matreshka is going to be slightly inflated because of the Bounty Hunter. Those 12 kills, of course, not all of them are tracks, but it still does help. Doom, he wants to Doom himself, and there it is, jumps onto the Storm. The Linken's Sphere gets broken, but nice use from the Bounty Hunter. He didn't want to use the BKB on the Doom, and that's gonna cost him a kill. That was a dead Storm 100%, not any longer. 99 will stands his ground there. The Darkseer has the Shard. You can see that he's leaving that trail behind him, just making sure the enemies can't go for him. Retsu has the BKB, turns around to Yang-Chi, will be popping the BKB as well. Now they turn around on the faces, so the Force Staff is keeping alive, not for long. Retsu destroys him, and Yang-Chi is gonna be next. He hasn't died ever since the start of the game, ever since the laning phase, and now he's gonna be giving 2,000 gold to his enemies, and everybody else is just an easy bonus, even with an Aghanim Scepter. Sproink somebody else, buddy, because these guys don't really care about your impetuses. That's gonna be 2 heroes dead. We all know how fast the Morphling pushes. They don't have buybacks. And Matreshka, they're gonna try, like, how much do they need? The Void needs 2,000 and Ember 1.9. You're not getting that money.
Is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant structures.
What the hell just happened? What the freaking hell? So
Dire's middle barracks are
they
under
will be
attack.
taking a lane around. They're going for the GG. They're like, we're staying in Division 2 and you're not. You have one more glyph, 7 seconds. Is that really gonna be enough with the charge coming through? It's gonna help for sure. The Doom is available. They will try to do something with it. As Retsu
Dire's
is standing his
middle barracks
ground
are under
while
attack.
when the glyph comes out, they're still thinking about it. 20 seconds, is it gonna be enough? The Morphling is one of the fastest pushers in the game, and the Doom gonna be coming in, turned into a piggy, and they're going for it. The Doom is dead. He doesn't have a buyback, he's just giving away his body because he needs to save the throne. It's the defense of the Ancients, and they're doing just that. They're defending their Ancients, but he'll be turning into the Spirit Breaker. Then do the vacuum force control, won't be getting anything off. Death for 110. They're just focusing on the throne right now with all of the illusions. It might be enough, and it will be. Now the Emperor is back, but they just don't care. Go left and right. They take down the throne, and Matreshka just like that. Game number 1. If that was a good comeback, then this was something completely different. Cybercats, they were so confident in their power. They were so confident in their strength that they just lose one fight without buybacks and lose the game. They weren't thinking that this was gonna happen, and with that kind of a mistake, with that kind of a blunder, for sure, they will be dropping out of Division 2. Them and Sibe are gone. Matreshka, they have made sure of it. Right now, Sibe and Cybercats, they will have one more game each to play in the Division 2, but it will not matter as every other team has at least 3 wins, while Sibe and Cybercats, they have only 1. We're going to be saying goodbye to them right now, as we're going to be saying goodbye to you viewers for the next 40 minutes, because that's how long the break will be today. Both of the games went 2-0, but don't worry, we have one more to end the day with Navi versus Storm. Yeah, that one might be a 2-0 as well, but either way, 3 best of 3s is always nice. 6 games a day, I don't think we can ask for more. We're not going to be greedy. So guys, with that being said, we are going to be going on to a bit of a longer break, but in 40 minutes, Navi and Storm are going to be fighting versus each other.